psychological factors are things that impact sport the most through the mind. For example, self-confidence, motivation, emotional control, and concentration. The iceberg model is one example of a psychological factor. This demonstrates that on top of the water on the iceberg, it can be quite small, it can look like everything's under control and that it's coping well, that there is not much stress in them, for example. However, underneath the water, it could be a massive mess, it could be 6 times the size as it is on the surface, showing that actually what you get to see is not necessarily a true reflection of the person that you are actually witnessing, and that actually deep down inside, in the mind, in the body, how they're feeling is not reflected out loud. For example, with some students, they may always come across as happy, content, fully understanding, as if they've got everything under wraps, all their work done, up to date with sport, when in reality they could actually be a big ball of stress, not able to be coping with the pressures that they've put on themselves, trying to stay up to date with everything but aren't able to, causing them to on the outside present themselves as cool, calm, collected, having everything under control, when in reality deep down inside, because they don't want to bother people, they're trying to deal with a million and one things and feel like they're on like a treadmill effect, because they're not talking to people, able to sort themselves out, because deep down inside underneath, then no one's understanding what's actually happening, as they're presenting themselves in a completely different light as to what is the real case. Psychological characteristics of development excellence, McNamara 2012. These are also known as PCDs. These are psychological factors, for many reasons such as commitment, realistic goal settings, and trauma, can have an impact on how long you play sport for. If you don't have full commitment, you're more likely to put less time and effort in practicing and aren't too bothered when you aren't selected to be in teams for competitions. Whereas if you have full commitment, you're more likely to keep pushing yourself and make sure you are the best of what you physically can be, and keep progressing and trying to make sure you can better yourself in a sport you're interested in. For example, growing up, there was me and a girl that were the same age, entered the sport at the same time, same physical capabilities as each other. We both took to the sport really naturally, both got along really well on it. However, every chance I got, I tried a new tack, I tried all the different new ways, and kept progressing my skill to the best of my abilities. However, she became more interested in being social, making friends, and just accepted that she took to the sport naturally, so that would help her win. However, what that meant to was in competitions when we were put up against each other, I ended up winning everything because I was putting the extra time, the extra effort in, as opposed to herself, who just wanted to be social, wanted to make friends with everyone, rather than actually try and progress, see if the practice that had been put in was pushing you to the next level. Realistic goal setting is a psychological factor because if you set a goal that is too far out of reach or just isn't physically possible for you to achieve, you're more likely to become disheartened and give up. As opposed to if you set small, achievable goals, you may end up pushing further than what you thought you could achieve, which will make you want to keep achieving more. Trauma is another factor because if you become injured and then never go back to doing that sport, and you'll end up with a fear that the trauma can occur again, and it can cause people an unnecessary lifelong fear. Whereas if they got back into the sport in a short time frame after they recover from the trauma, they may still love sport. For example, when I was younger, I fell off my bike. I ended up with 27 stitches, and now I still won't go back out on the road riding a bike in the fear that I'm going to end up back in hospital needing those stitches in my gym. Confidence, self-esteem, mental toughness are all psychological factors that influence participation in sport. Sport releases a feel-good hormone called endorphins. With the individual being able to feel good about themselves, they are able to increase their self-esteem rather than view themselves in a negative light for whatever it is that they are conscious about. They are able to see it's something good about themselves, but just may not be their strongest point. Confidence and mental toughness are also increased during sport, as sport can be used as a stress reliever and allows people to get away from every day-to-day stress It allows them to have a time out, focus on something that will challenge them and take them away from issues. Because while you're out playing a game of football or in the middle of the sea sailing, you haven't got time to think about whether you paid bills, for example. You need to focus on what you were doing then and there. This allows people to come back at the end with a clearer and often more focused mindset, as they have endorphins at their highest level and they've had a break from the situation, so are able to go back with a new mindset, feeling like they're able to cope with the challenges more